And one of the most interesting ones I've come across, and I'm fascinated, very appreciative to have him here, Konrad Bobilak from Melbourne has travelled up here at his own expense to be able to he just wants to talk to you about his books. He's got two beautiful books. One's the soft cover version, the follow-up was a hardcover version. Bang, just dropped it on the computer. Konrad has come to this course without any concept of a back-end product. He had a vague idea, and then he's gone and developed the back-end product in the book and has created an amazing success. So we are extremely grateful to have you here, Konrad. If you'd all stand up, please, and welcome this amazing man all the way from Melbourne. Please give him the applause.
Thank you very much. Wonderful introduction. I must apologise up front. I'm recovering from a virus, so my voice will be a little bit weird at times. How you guys going? Are you pumped? Yes. Who's picked up a few key distinctions already that's going to make a huge difference in their life? I was exactly where you are a number of years ago. And I'll go through my story today, and I was burning out working in a corporate environment, not really enjoying what I was doing. I was really good at it though. I was making really good money, but I felt like I was selling my soul. You know, I was better than this, but I had no other avenue to do anything else. How many people feel like they're making good money, but they could do something better? They've got a high calling. Yeah? Or how many people hate their job completely, including the manager? Yeah, that was me. Hated completely. The politics, I hated everything. So I'm going to show you how I built a business basically, where today I'm paying myself $1 million in salary. My business is turning over $2.5 million. It's all commission, so it's purely just revenue. But the most important thing is that I did it with zero marketing. I actually have never spent 1 cent on Google AdWords, direct advertising, zero, nothing, literally. And so I'm going to take you step by step how I did it. The most important thing is that I'm not selling anything today. There is no product you can actually buy with me because I don't do any of the services. I'm just going to share this information with you openly. And I've never shared this with anyone. This is the first time I'm showing you how my business actually runs. And I'm only doing it because it changed my life completely. So I'm showing you really just sensitive internal information about my company, how I'm structured, what marketing we do, how I've grown the company from a database of 0 to 18,000 on my database, and my YouTube channel to 15,000, and zero marketing. So anyone can do it. How many people here have a product that's kind of in the financial services industry? So lending, real estate, kind of stock market. You benefit from this a lot because you've got a product that you can sell, whether it's a coaching product or whether it's a trading product or actually, or real estate. So that's what the game that I'm in. So this is the first book that I published. I'm going to take you through my whole journey in detail. I just want to give you a bit of a summary. I'm Eastern European, so I get straight to the point, okay? I'm very direct. I'm from Poland. Part of my family is from Ukraine. So yeah, interesting times. This is the second book that I published. I published this book in 2015, and I'll talk about the success that it's had. And it's basically on finance, how to pay off your mortgage in record time and how to buy a lot of property. And I'll talk about my background as well, what gives me the credibility, the right to write these books. And then the second one is called Real Estate Investing Made Simple, where I've actually had a number of other experts contribute chapters to this book: lawyers, accountants, depreciation, quantity surveyors, depreciation schedule specialists. So they've all contributed different chapters which kind of are congruent to what I'm teaching people with real estate investing. I made number 1 on Amazon a number of times. So and it's funny because a lot of times my finance book was number 1 and my real estate book was number 5. This is where my real estate book was number 1 in real estate, and then my finance one got there as well somehow. And a number of times in mortgages and real estate investing, which is the niche category that my book exists in, I've been number 1 and 2 for weeks on end. So it must be the digitally altered image of me, I think. People say, when was that photo taken? When you had your communion? I said, no. See, I can't win. When I've shaved my beard, I look like 12. When I grow it, I look 60, but I'm actually 45, so I can't win. This is just randomly checking Amazon and seeing my book number 1. It's a number 1 bestseller, literally ranked number 1 in mortgages, out of 1,000 books. No marketing. No, nothing, no paying for leads, zero. Just content. So I'll share some of that with you. Here's where my book was number 1 as well. And here's where my book is number 1 and number 3. So, and feedback was really positive as well. The thing about the book is it took me a long time to write the book, and because I am obsessive compulsive and I'm a perfectionist, and that's cost me a lot of time and money in my life. And but I can't change who I am, unfortunately. You are who you are, you know. So rather than doing the book in 6 weeks or 7 weeks, I actually did it where I blocked out every Friday, and if I was in the zone, I would write the book. If I wasn't feeling it that day, I would put the book away, because I wasn't going to force myself to write something that is not a reflection of who I am. It's got to be perfect or zero, right? Which is not a good thing to have as an attitude, but that's who I am. I was at Knox Shopping Centre, I live in Melbourne, and I saw my book on the shelf, and it was positioned between Robert Kiyosaki and Tony Robbins. What a great position to be in between, right? So there it is there. Robbins' books were thicker than mine, so that's why the second one, I've increased the size. Bit of a competition with Tony Robbins. Banana hands. Anyone shake his hands? Like, I do powerlifting, I'm 6'2". When I met him, I was like, my God, he's just a giant, right? It's just unbelievable. My daughter was in that shop. My wife went into the shop to get some books for her because she's 10, and she came out holding my book. And she just seen the look on her face. It was just priceless. She couldn't believe that, you know, Dad's in the bookshop. Bit of my background before we get any further, just not to bore you to death, but I wasted 3 years at Monash University doing a business degree, which consisted on playing pool at the tavern and drinking a lot of beer and doing assignments with international students that couldn't understand English. Nearly did an MBA, more bad advice. But I thought, you know what? These guys are on 80 grand a year. I actually want to make some real money, right? These are lecturers. Hey, you can do an MBA. Yeah, no. I want to go out there. So I've got a certificate in real estate as well. I'm a real estate agent, mortgage broking and financial planning. I started off in financial planning, working for Australian Union Funds Management, because I didn't know what to do with my life. I wanted to make money, got into financial planning, worked out these guys don't know anything about making money, so left there. Got into unlisted property trusts, very structured kind of a background, got into residential lending with NAB, and at the end of my career I was working for Medfin, which is a subsidiary of NAB that sets up medical clinics and dental clinics around Melbourne, doing commercial lending, asset finance, all this kind of stuff. I loved my job, I was very good at it, but the politics and the parasites inside NAB destroyed the job. There was just so much politics internally, and that's why we had the bank inquiry. So I was really good at my job, but I hated going to work. Anyone can relate to that? Just hated going to work because I had to deal with the people there. Not the staff, not my colleagues, the management. And the culture was very, very destructive. At the same time, I didn't know what to do with myself because I was kind of at the crossroads of my life and career. I was burnt out physically, working 80 hours a week. I was making really good money. I was about 250 grand a year doing commercial lending. Had the car, had the nice house, happy wife. My wife was a teacher, working at St. Bede's at the time, 110 grand a year in the Catholic system, VC level. Very comfortable, large property portfolio, unhappy, completely miserable to the point where I was nearly suffering from depression. You know, just couldn't work out what am I going to do, and I was kind of unemployable. I got to the level in corporate where if I have to join another company and they're going to take me around the first day and say, this is Jenny and this is where we have the water fountain and this is the kitchen, I was going to kill people. You know, I couldn't do that anymore. But I didn't have that entrepreneurial way to start a business either. I wasn't that person. You know, I wasn't born an entrepreneur like Darren. I never really did anything. I've never had a business. I've been a really good employee and a high-level manager, you know. And then I was at this kind of crossroads, didn't know what to do, but the money was good. They say it's lonely at the top, but the food's really good. And so I was feeling like I was selling myself almost, you know, in a way. And then I came across the event. And then remember, a salary is a drug they give you to forget your dreams. Now what I realized at working for NAB is you're either building your dreams or helping someone else build theirs. Because you're always working for someone's dreams. And I was feeding the CEOs at NAB. It was kind of incongruent with the person that I was. But I had a fear of setting up my own business. And just like you, I went to an event in 2012 in Melbourne, and the penny dropped completely. The biggest thing that I understood from the book was that the book, and I'll talk about different benefits of it, allowed you to advertise your products, because in traditional publishing, which is predominantly the whole world out there, they don't really advertise, they don't let you advertise any back-end product. You know, it's just because they're too traditional, too old school. And I saw this as a perfect opportunity to launch, you know, my whole business on the back of this book. I joined in 2013 to the program, and it took me about 12 months to really get my book completed, the manuscript, because I take so long with everything, because I'm a perfectionist, you know. And look, the notion to me that someone outsources a book, and this is a very technical book on real estate in Australia, 20 years of, you know, virtually working in the financial service sector. The notion of someone in a third world country somewhere sitting on the milk crate is going to replace my knowledge, you know, replicate my knowledge and then write the book. I mean, how many people have read a book, an e-book, where you read the first 3 pages and you're in the industry and you go, this is complete rubbish, yeah? Yeah, a lot. In real estate and finance, I would have read 100 ebooks. First 3 pages, this guy doesn't know anything about finance or real estate. It's just nonsense, you know? And so my objective was to capture people with the book, that it has to be all the wisdom, all the nuggets, everything that I've learned. So it had to be perfect. It had to, you know, inspire people at the general public, and also people in the industry like mortgage brokers, lawyers, accountants would have to be also impressed by the knowledge without making it too much jargon. So when I wrote the book, I had a picture of a Holden factory worker on the assembly line saying, this is who you're writing the book for, because I didn't want to technically lose people with the jargon. So I was aiming for a person that dropped out in year 7 and worked for Holden. That's my target audience. How does he repay his house in record time and build up a large property portfolio? I launched the book eventually, and it was a success, and I'll talk about how I launched it. And then I realized that in order to really get the back-end sales going, which is to sell real estate, which is effectively what my business does, I needed to create a live event and work towards the live event and get everyone into the live event. So what I did was I developed an extensive lead generation funnel, which is really just a system to separate the prospects from the suspects. And that's what you got to do. You can't waste your time with suspects. Everyone's interested in buying a Rolex or a Mercedes or a blue chip property, but how many people can take advantage of it? How many people can service the loan? How many people can benefit from it? So there's no point talking to people that can't take advantage of your opportunity, whatever that is. So this allows you to separate these people, and I'll show you how I've done that. Then I launched my YouTube channel in 2015, and eventually on the back of that, I leased a building in St Kilda, 8 to 12 Alma Road, the whole building, 600 square metres when I do my events now. And then I'm paying myself $1 million per year as a salary. And 1.5 stays in the company. So this is how I did it all. Number one is I had clarity about what I wanted to achieve, which came from the first 3-day event. And this is what I wrote at the event. Literally, I took this from my folder. I only want to work, I'm a lazy, there's 2 types of people in the world. There's people that get up really early, and there's people that hate people that get up really early, yeah? My wife gets up at 6, and she tells me all the things she did by the time I get up at 10, right? So I want to work from 10 to 6, Monday to Friday. I don't want to work on the weekends. I'm unavailable. Like a lawyer and accountant, they don't work weekends. I'm not available. I want to do 2 consultations a day, 2 in the 4, for an hour and a half, to people that are pre-qualified. 10 appointments per week, and that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. Out of the 10, 3 people can't buy anything, 4 maybe could buy something, but they've got to refinance, restructure, and then 3 become actual clients. They buy properties. So it's an average of 3 sales per week. I work only 40 weeks per year. I have 6 holidays per year times 2. I've got a 10-year-old daughter, so every holiday we go away. I'm actually back in the Gold Coast on this school holiday next week. We're staying at the Isle of Capri in the property, in the big house overlooking the water. And yeah, and earn $1 million per year. I put $1 million because I've never made $1 million, and I thought it's a cool round figure just to aim for. If I hit 900,000, I'm not going to get suicidal, right? So I thought $1 million's cool. And then it's amazing when you hit it, because then you know you can do 2 and 3 and more. So $1 million was kind of my goal for no reason at all, you know, just throw it out there. 5, I wouldn't accept psychologically. Because when you make 250, you know that a million's possible. And that's why when you're setting your goals, I think you need to set a goal that's very ambitious, but not to the point where you don't believe that's ever going to happen either. Because if you said to me 10 million, I can't accept it psychologically as a person. I just can't do it. So basically what I did was, this is one of the best books that I've ever read by Brian Tracy, which is Eat That Frog. And he says if you eat a frog in the morning, that's probably what's the worst thing that can happen to you that day. And what he's really saying there is find out what the hardest marketing tool in the industry is to develop and develop it. Do the exact opposite of what people are doing. So I looked at my industry. You might want to do the same with your industries, whatever that may be. And everyone was doing the same thing. They had a massive call center and they were just hounding people in their homes, talking about some government initiative and discounts with negative gearing that no one cares about. And then they were trying to get into your home to sell you a house and land package or an apartment in the Gold Coast. How many people can relate to that, right? That's the whole industry, right? And they're going to disturb you, and they're broke and all the baloney. What I wanted to do is sell really good properties to rich people, make them even richer. Like a Mercedes-Benz dealership or Rolex, but without them ever having a property. Because everyone's dealing with the general public. I wanted to deal with premium people, premium properties in premium locations, which no one was doing at all. So I thought, what's everyone doing? How are they generating leads? And I did the exact opposite of what everyone does, which is, number one, write the book. Number two, get a YouTube channel, and then do live events, which no one does. Everyone does ebooks, webinars, cold calling. So I'll do the exact opposite. Just because I hate what people do, generally speaking, you know, like it's just one of these Eastern European things. What is everyone doing? Okay, I go over here, I go opposite. So I have a business, I'll show you my business mission statement that I also wrote during the 3-day event with Darren. Book 1 and 2, 2-day live event, bunch of marketing that feeds the live event, financial pre-approval, face-to-face consultation. So I want to talk to the person via Zoom or face-to-face, develop an investment strategy that benefits them, sell them a property in a blue chip area, not in a bad area, in a blue chip area, which no one does. One of the biggest things that I can tell you that made a huge difference for me earlier on, I had a really good marketing friend that works in corporate marketing, and they said, make sure you don't experiment with your CRM system. Get a CRM system that you can grow with your company and scale it up, but it's not too expensive to set up at the beginning. Because what happens is businesses grow, and then suddenly they've got 10,000 people, and they've got to take them from one system to another, and they lose half the data. You know, and then they go, oh my God, we've just wasted 3 years of our life. So I use Infusionsoft because you can start very cheaply on $59 per month on the basic plan. And as you grow your funnel, you can increase. And at the moment, like for example, you can have, this is for $199 per month, 2,500 people on your contact list. You can do 12,500 emails per month and 3 users. I'm at the moment on this system here, 10,000 plus, about to go to 20,000. So as you grow your business, you need to manage and nourish your database of people. I remember I started with 10 people on my database, just 10. You know, but I had to give them free stuff. I give people 6 things for free before I ask for a sale. Give them really good quality. You know, whatever it is, reports, videos on different topics. But I think with Infusionsoft, it made a huge difference because we can scale up the CRM as the business grows. So whatever your product is, this is really the most important part of it, is managing the CRM. Very few people talk about it. My company mission statement was offer premium properties in premium locations to premium clients. So we're a boutique real estate agency offering high-end clients superior investing, off-market opportunities and discounts. So I'm going to show you one example just in context of what I'm talking about. And that's the company website. By the way, when you get a website for your company, you've got to spend a bit of money on it. If it looks really cheap, it'll repel people. I've seen some shocking, you know, websites for companies in the corporate sector or in real estate. So you've got to spend the money to make it look good. Initially, we had different levels. We started with a basic one, just 1 page. But as you build up, that's very important. This is an example of a project that I sourced in Brighton East, which is a Bayside area of Melbourne, very kind of upmarket. And it's basically, this is the kind of product that I sell, which is a high-end townhouse, 3-bedroom, double lock-up garage, 2.5 bathrooms, right on the beach of Brighton, which is about 12 k's from the city. One of the most iconic suburbs in Melbourne. Very good schools. Now this development here, I took out the whole 10 townhouses and negotiated a 100,000 discount off each townhouse with the developer. So negotiate 100. It's easy to negotiate 100 of 10 versus of one. One, he wouldn't do it. But you're buying the whole thing and you're guaranteeing turnover. He did it. When they settled last year, they were worth 1.25 million. So people have made 200,000 just in the settlement process. So no one does this. Everyone does the opposite. They inflate the property by 100, rip off their clients and burn them, and keep focusing on generating new clients. That's the whole industry, you know. So I want to do the exact opposite of what people do and what marketing companies do. And a lot of my clients now are referring friends and family. I have clients now buying the 6th, 7th, 8th property. It's like going to a restaurant. If you have a good meal in the restaurant, would you come back? What happens if you get food poisoning and end up in the hospital? Are you going to come back? No. So that's the most important thing is the integrity. You know, Brian Tracy says it takes 30 years to build up your reputation, it takes 1 second to lose it. So the product has to be really good. Whatever your product offering is, it's got to be really well positioned in the industry. So I did the exact opposite. Number 1 is publish 2 books. Number 2, I wanted to do a YouTube channel and I literally didn't have any reference. The only thing I did was because I do MMA and powerlifting, Joe Rogan is one of the podcasters that I listen to because he started basically UFC. Anyone know Joe Rogan? He's one of the top. What does he do that's different from everyone else? Everyone was telling me when you do a YouTube channel, only do 7 to 10 minute videos because most people have a very short attention span. And I thought, you know what? You're full of crap. Joe Rogan does an hour to 2 hours because he said America is starving for high level conversations. Society is starving for high level connections and conversations, right? They really want to unpack a topic or a person and really get to know them. So he did the exact opposite of what everyone's doing, which is 7 minute videos, you know? And I thought, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do 1 hour presentations and really unpack them to the micro level. So you capture everyone from high level people to engineering people. And guess what? It worked over time with no advertising. It's currently at 15,500 subscribers. And some of my videos, you can't see that there, but I think the number 1 video has 144,000 views. So think about how many clients that would generate to my company, you know, and I'm very transparent about the services that I provide. I don't hide anything. These are the properties that we focus on, these are the areas, this is how much they cost, these are the consultants we use. So when clients ring me, they already know what I do. There's nothing hidden. You know, they know exactly what the product offering is. So I've done about 87 videos. I think I do 1 a month. I'm pretty lazy. I should do more. I don't know. I should do more, but I'm lazy. And the last thing I did was set up a multi-speaker event. That's me when I'm shaved with short hair. And so I got about 10 speakers with me. Cameron Fish owns Changing Places Real Estate Property Management Division, and that's Stephen McClutchy. He's one of the best brokers in Australia. He just won the 9th best broker out of 3,500 brokers in Australia. So he does the finance section with me. And so we run these events in the office. It's called the Real Estate Investing Fast Track Weekend. So if you can do a 2-day event, now I build up from doing a webinar to a 3-hour live event, to a half-a-day event, to a 1-day event, to a 2-day event, and then people wanted more. So he said, we'll do a 3-day event, now we're doing a 4-day event for the first time in May. Because a lot of people with a lot of properties keep coming back and they want more education. We want to go into more detail about these topics. We want more consultants. We want to learn from economists, accountants, financial planners, all these other experts in the industry. So once again, it was always going to be lead generation, essentially 2-day event, face-to-face, and then the sale. That's the kind of marketing that I have. So YouTube channel generates. There's a sale at the end saying that if you like what you've seen, if you learn a little bit, come and contact me. We can do a 1-hour consultation via Zoom. And have a chat. The book has a lot of links in it to either YouTube videos or free ebooks or to me saying if you qualify yourself, you can pre-qualify yourself in the book, come and see me and I can help you build your wealth through property. And joint venture partners. So this was a huge thing at the beginning. People say, how did you get the whole room filled at the beginning? I went to accountants and mortgage brokers and I said, I'm a real estate agent, I've got the property. If I sell the property, you'll pick up the loan, you'll pick up the structuring and the tax returns. And when you do that with people and you have a really good reputation, guess what they do? They send out your marketing to their databases. So the accountant had 60,000 people on his database. Cameron Fisher had 80,000 people. And because I had Infusionsoft, it was really easy just to do an email blast to their database saying, hey, I'm doing a live event on real estate investing. It's free, or it's $97. We tested different price points. This is what we're covering. Come on down. And so joint ventures really grew the company for the first 2 or 3 years. So one of the keys is find people or companies that offer a non-compete product in your industry that you can align yourself with as a win-win scenario. But it has to be non-compete. So if it's compete, then you're losing your client to someone else. So then that feeds a 2-day event, and then I do a consultation, buy property, make $1 million. That was the plan. I'm not a marketing genius. I'm not a marketing guru. I'm an employee, guys. You know, this is not something where I haven't been to any marketing seminars or anything like that. You know, I'm an employee, so psychology is very different. And then eventually I thought, well, let's go to do some webinars. So I set up GoToWebinar and recorded monthly webinars and had them on auto replay. So you can always go in there and watch it. You think it's always live, but it's actually me just doing 1 webinar per month. And they were feeling that 2-day event, and I was getting more consultations. Then what I started to do, I thought, I'll do some ebooks. So I went back to front. I started with the hardest things, Eat That Frog, and I ended up doing with what everyone else starts off with, which is ebooks, because everyone can do an ebook. But what I did was I took a chapter out of each book, and the chapters were written by different people. And what I then did a joint venture with the database, where they'll send out the ebook to their database, but the actual leads will come back to my company. And for everyone that comes back to my company, they'll pick up the structuring or the loan. Joint ventures are very powerful, and this is a huge thing. And I can't even begin to tell you, when my book got published, how many people were ringing me all the time trying to do joint ventures. Without the book, there was nothing. No one would even talk to me about any joint venture. The moment you publish, you rise above everyone else. It's a weird thing because we're living in a digital age. But there's something happens when you have a hard copy book and you're an author. You elevate your status, you know, beyond anyone else. And then I've got companies chasing me, financial planning companies, accounting groups, saying, Konrad, we love what you do. We saw your YouTube video. My wife watched you on the weekend. Or my client bought your property. We want to get involved. So now the problem is I've got too many people trying to approach me, and I'm rejecting a lot of people because it's not, you know, it could be problematic as well. So this is my marketing campaign now. We have 2 books, live events, joint ventures, GoToWebinar, and at the moment I'm at full capacity to the point where I don't want to do any more because I don't want to hire more people. I don't like working with a lot of people. I'm an introverted person by nature, single child from a broken marriage. Employees turn on you eventually. You know those people in America, they buy those chimpanzee monkeys and they put nappies on them, and eventually they just snap one day and rip their face off? That's what I think employees do. Okay? So I don't want to have employees. I just want to have a marketing manager, a receptionist. I want to do all the selling and keep everything low key. And if I want to go for holidays, I just shut the office down and say, receptionist, take 2 weeks off. Paid. Cool. See you in 2 weeks. That's it. No phone calls. No complaints, right? No staff. I just want to be a high-level consultant. But I want to talk to the right people. I want to get to the point where I'm talking to 10 pre-qualified, high-level people instead of 3, which is what I'm doing now. That's what I'm doing, just tuning the whole machine to give me quality. Then I thought, I'll leverage my time even more and I'll do a digital product, because then everyone's doing digital things over the period of time that we had COVID-19. So I recorded my 2-day live event and I gave it away for free. Everyone charges people, and you know, they say, oh, don't give them the steaks, the sizzle sells the steak. I don't believe that. Give them your best things for free. Because once they get it for free and it's really good, they go, Jesus, if this is free, what happens if I actually pay him some money, you know? Where everyone gives you BS, little ebook, and they expect everything from you. So I give them the best, yeah, here's 2 days and the manual and all the information, free completely. We had something like 12,000 people watch this home study. Amazing reviews, you know, they can't believe it's for free. Or we've spent $5,000 with company XYZ and we've learnt more in your 2 days than we did over 3 days with the other company. We can't believe it. You know, it's that level. So the home study is for free. And it's been the #1 lead generator over that period of time. But without the book, there'll be no home study, there'll be nothing. Because there'll be no positioning, there'll be virtually no company. And so it all comes back now. This is my current marketing. YouTube channel, 2 books. And those 2 books allow you to position yourself as an authority in the industry. Live event, digitally recorded live event, because no one could fly anywhere the last 2 years. Everyone was stuck, Melbourne especially. We got hit the worst. My God, we had to cancel like 5 holidays in a row that we just stopped booking them because no one wanted us. And then eventually talk to me, real estate, $1 million. Simple marketing plan, right? It should be so simple we could put it on 1 page without any problems. So basically, this is book #1, book #2. I've got my own websites as well where you can purchase them, and I give them the home study for free automatically and the sequence of emails. So one thing with Infusionsoft is when you're capturing these people, you want to have a database that allows, a CRM system allows you to do emails over 12 weeks. 1 email per week saying, congratulations, thank you for buying my book. By the way, here's a really cool video on structuring your current portfolio. Here's a video how you can pay off your house in record time. Here's a video on XYZ. And you give them all this stuff for free. 12 free gifts over 12 weeks. And what you're creating there is a fan. They can't believe they're getting all this stuff for free because they spend 30, 40 bucks with you. And they want to work with you, you know, and this is the whole secret. There's no real secret to what I have done. I just looked at what everyone's doing and kind of tried to do the opposite with the contents. This is how my week is structured. At least this is complete transparency here. So 10 a.m, I get up at 9, 10 o'clock, I do emails in the morning, which is the pink stuff, for 2 hours. From 10 to 12, I answer emails. I don't do any emails until 6. I'm just not available. Because what you don't want to do is have your whole day driven by emails. Has anyone found that in corporate? You're just doing emails all day long, every 10 seconds. And the more quicker you reply, guess what happens to the person? Gee, she's quick. Let's ask another question. You know, but if you're not available like a lawyer and accountant, I just do emails twice a day, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, that's it. I have a 2-hour lunch, which usually turns into a meeting with someone, and I do 2 consultations, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, Monday to Friday. 10 consultations per week, and then that's 3 sales, that's $2.5, $3 million in revenue per year. 6 o'clock, I'm out, I'm not available. Like, you can't ring me. Not available on weekends. People said, Konrad, we want to see you. Great, let's catch up. But we're working full time. Can you see us on the weekend? No, I don't work weekends. But we have to work, I understand that. I hear you, you know? Not seeing you. Would a lawyer see you on the weekend, or a barrister? I'll make more money than them. I'm just not available. Make yourself unavailable. Tell them they have to take time off work to come and see you. It's all about positioning. And guess what happens? Doctors, surgeons, lawyers take time off and they come and see me in the office or do a Zoom call. Because you position yourself as an authority, that's what they expect, and they do it. The moment you just say, yeah, I can see you on Saturday night, even on 9 o'clock at night, 12, you know, whenever you want. Oh, okay, let me come back to you. Don't become available, become unavailable. People will chase you. It's psychological. That's what I found. The difference between where you are today and when you've been 5 years from now, we found in the quality of books that you've read, which is so true. Robert Kiyosaki changed my life, Brian Tracy, all those great authors. You read a book, you pick up a distinction, changes your whole trajectory for your whole life. The more you learn, the more you earn. Warren Buffett. So when I started this whole journey, I wanted to go from A to B in the fastest possible way. And what I found is this is what I was doing before with the company. I didn't know how to start up a business. I didn't know how to get from A to B. B being my ultimate objective, which is to make $1 million per year, but not about the money so much. It was about living life on my own terms. Having the freedom that if I want to see my daughter at a play, I can just go there without telling anyone. I'm not available on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. I'm seeing my daughter at a play at her school. Or she's competing in a swimming tournament on the Friday morning, which I'll be there. So I just wanted to be there all the time and do my own thing. It was never about the money. One of the key secrets, if there is a secret, is essentialism, is how I live my whole life. And what people usually do is non-essentialist people, which is the general society, They think all things to all people. I have to. It's important. How can I fit it in? And what they do is, they have an undisciplined pursuit of more. React to what's more pressing, say yes to people without really thinking about it, take on all the projects, all the opportunities. And then what happens is, what you get, you take on too much, your work suffers, you feel out of control, and you're constantly doing things in the last second. So what I've learned to do is basically reject virtually everything, which is essentialism, is less but better. I choose to only focus on things that get me closer to my goals. I only have relationships and joint ventures that will benefit my company. Only a few things really matter. What are the trade-offs? Disciplined pursuit of less. So pause to discern what really matters. Say no to everything except the essential. Otherwise, I'll say yes to every JV, and I'll be doing 10,000 JVs, and all of them will fail, and I'll spend all my weekends doing marketing, and then my wife will hate me. Or I could say no to 99% of people, choose the best option and focus my energy in that respect during the week. Say no to everything except the essential. Remove obstacles to make execution easy. Choose carefully in order to get great work. Feel in control, get the right things done, and experience joy in the journey. So I started with the hardest things first, execute them perfectly, and then go to the easiest things and say no to everyone. Anyone watch Steven Seagal movies from the 80s? Any fans? I'm like Steven Seagal with JVs. I just kind of divert them as they come to me, right? And they just kind of fly off. And so be the Steven Seagal. Stephen Jobs says it's only by saying no that you can concentrate on things that are really important. And I don't say no, I say it's just not a priority right now. We've just got other priorities right now. I love the opportunity. It's just that we have other priorities that are pressing that we've committed to right now. I don't say no, I don't want to work with you, because that's being rude, but that's the reality. So learn to say no to opportunities, but just use words, it's not priority for me right now, later on. And you might come back to that person, and I have done so. This is my final thing, just a summary of things that I can kind of, I thought about what's the best advice I can give you. I know some of you are in different industries, not just financial services sector, but you could be doing, any industry, health, fitness, whatever it is, mindset, you could be doing meditation, you could be doing anything. Number one is publish your book, because nothing creates more credibility and authority in an industry than becoming a published author. It allows you to cut through the whole industry and position yourself as an expert. I've had phone calls that I couldn't believe that happened. This is a phone call that I got when I published my first book. Konrad, it's Lloyd here. I read your book, Flying from London to Los Angeles. I run a family trust in London. I manage £12 million. I've read your book on my jet. I want to put £2 million into Melbourne property market. Can you help me? Can I work with you? How do you get to a person like that? You think he's going to read an ebook? You can't get to these people. I had surgeons read my book, barristers, always on holidays. I picked up your book at the airport, I read it. Konrad, I'm paying 200 grand in tax, 100 grand in tax, I need to buy property. I've been deferring it for 20 years because it was just too hard and I was too busy. What do we do? How do you work? What do I need to do to get together? Like, these doors will open the moment you're a published author. Without it, it was impossible. There's just no way. No one knows who you are. How would they find me? How would they know what I have? Number two is, the back-end product is the whole thing. It's the game behind the game. It was never about making money out of selling the book. It was about getting to these people, these opportunities and these individuals as an authority, and the money's all there. You sell real estate, you make 30, 40, 50 grand a sale. How many books would I have to sell to make $50,000? It takes an hour to sell real estate. An hour, 2 hours, depending on the complexity of the person. So it's always the game behind the game. So if you're thinking about your business, your product, your service, think about the book as just a way to get to the person, to target audience, and then how do you create that massive sell at the end? And even if it's 1 out of 1,000, do you care? If you're gonna make 50 grand, or 30 grand, or 10 grand, or 5? Create live events, because no one's doing it. Nothing converts people more than live events, because they get to immerse themselves in that information. And it's a real connection, a human connection. They can see it. Australians have a real bullshit radar, would you agree? We know. We know if we're being sold or if it's legitimate. We can tell, you know, more than the Americans, more than anyone else. So live events are good because they can see that it's genuine, they can see the benefits, they talk to other people, you know, and now I found that that is the best way to educate people without selling, because people love to buy, they hate being sold. Would you agree? They just want the opportunity to make up their own mind. Number 4 is definitely create, develop a marketing funnel, CRM. CRM is so important. So this is what people neglect. They just use their email list and then they've got suddenly 5,000 people. Then what do? You're going to get blacklisted. So you've got to start off, whatever the industry is, work out how you can start off cheap per month, but that you can scale that up with your business. So that you can do multiple emails. Nourish your CRM. Don't leave them alone for a year. They'll die. They're like plants. You've got to keep feeding them water. Give them nutrients. Give them videos. You know, in my industry, it's videos, ebooks, articles. Constantly, once a week, twice a week, I'm sending them stuff for free. Nothing to sell. Just an opinion about the market. You know, these are the top 10 suburbs. These are the 10 worst suburbs. And then set up your own YouTube channel if you can. I know it's hard to do, but YouTube also, this whole influencer thing, even if you're bad at it, it cuts through the industry. It cuts through. And you can start off with a 1-minute video, but eventually if you can set up a YouTube channel, which costs you nothing. And remember, I've done all this without spending any money. In fact, the only money we ever spent was the money that we're getting now paid by YouTube for our videos, and we're reinvesting it in positioning our YouTube videos higher in certain topics. That is the only money we've spent, but it's not really spending money, it's getting money from YouTube and just giving it back to YouTube. So that's really the five things that I could come back with. The final thing is, just to give you an example, 3 of my friends, I've trained as real estate agents and buyer's advocates. I'm a buyer's advocate as well. I taught them everything that I know. 5 years ago, 2 of them opened up similar companies to mine. I gave them all my contacts. I gave them my lawyers, my accountants, my developers, because I come from a place of infinite abundance. There's only so many transactions I can do as an agent per week, right? There's 10,000 transactions, 15,000 in Melbourne. Like, I can only do 3. So there's going to be, I'm not going to miss out, right? I gave them all my contacts, everything, all my methodology. They even set up Infusionsoft, they set up everything. They failed miserably. They set up everything works. No one knows about them because they didn't do one thing, which is they've got no book. They've got the YouTube channel, no one goes there, there's 3 views, one from him, one from the mum, and one from the person that listed it in the first place, right? They've got everything set up perfectly as well as I have, but there is no clients that are aware of them. They have no leads. In fact, both of them have gone back now to work for building companies during the COVID-19 lockdown in Melbourne. And yet they replicate everything that I did, except they don't want to, for some reason, publish a book, or they don't have the inclination to publish a book. So to me, like in my industry, and I know my industry is very specific, that's more evidence than anything that I need to come to the conclusion that without that book, I could never do anything that I've done. You know, nothing would have worked. I would have been just another 20,000 other agents in Victoria that I'll be competing with, you know, for clients. So, and this is why I'm here today, sharing this information with you openly, just to share my whole journey with Global Publishing, because it's really been life-changing. I mean, to us now, I'm not burnt out, I'm happy for the first time, living life on my own terms. I can get up. If I don't feel like going to work, I don't get to work. If I feel like sleeping to 12 and then watching Netflix with a bowl of Maltesers to 2 p.m, no one's going to ring me and tell me to get to work. When I was at NAB, if you're late 10 minutes, they'll say, Konrad, what time is it? What did we discuss last week on Wednesday? Yeah, okay. That was NAB, you know. I can't go back there again. So that's pretty much it. I encourage you guys to really think about your industry, think about how it can benefit you. Any questions you have, I'll hang around. I'm flying back to Melbourne in a couple of hours, but I just came here to share this information with you openly, very transparent. If you're from any industry that's kind of, you know, similar to mine, by all means, come and see me, say hello, ask any questions. Thank you very much.